Okay, so our special guest, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing a British actress, a very inspiring British actress. She first played Bryony Jones in Grange Hill, the BBC long-running television series. So it might show a bit of the age, but we all love that. She not only is that, she played Kim, the lead role in Miss Saigon. So she's very talented. She's a singer, she's a director, she's everything, a presenter, an author. But please welcome the most beautiful and talented Renee Montemayor, who's going to talk to us about the Philippines experience that she had.
Thank you, Lally. Thank you, everybody. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to everyone at the Servite School for having me here, all the teachers, all you lovely parents, and all you lovely kids. Thank you so much for having me here. Okay, so as Lally said, my name is Renee Montemayor, and I'm an actress. I'm also a Filipina. I'm a British Filipina. So I was born here, and my parents are both from the Philippines, hence why I was invited here to do this talk about the recent typhoon in the Philippines. I've made a few notes, and we've got a few images to share with you that was quite difficult to put together, actually. It's quite upsetting putting them together, but I'm going to start off with some of the facts. Okay, so does everyone know what a typhoon is? Do you little ones know? Yes. Go for it. It's a strong wind? Yes, that's right. It's a strong storm. Right? So I'm just going to get you guys involved. So do you know what storm sounds like? What does a storm sound like? Make a storm noise. What does it sound like? What would it sound like, a storm, a really big storm? Yes, that's right. Shh. I can't hear it. Oh, that's better. Yes, louder. Okay. Wow. Wow. Someone said coconut. That's right. The coconut's falling, everything. Okay, so what it is, it's a big storm. It's a massive storm. And what happened in the Philippines was they had a storm that was bigger than any storm they've ever had in the whole world. This is what happened. It's a super typhoon. And it's a storm that happens over the sea where air pressure builds up, and it builds up so massively that it can come onto land and it can destroy everything. And unfortunately, that is what happened in the Philippines to our countrymen and women. The map that we've got here shows the trajectory of the storm. What happened was on the 8th of November last month, it came through the Philippines, the southern part of the Philippines, and devastated many, many towns and villages there, Tacloban being one of the worst hit, which is why I have on my t-shirt here, Bangon Tacloban. And what that means is, and I had to look this up, because I'm British-born Filipina, my Tagalog isn't perfect, but it does mean stand again, rise, rebuild. Okay? And I just want to mention also that it wasn't just Tacloban that was hit. That was the worst hit, but there were many, many other areas that were just as badly devastated, such as most of the Visayas, Leyte, Ormoc, Samar, Bohol, and Cebu. It was a Category 5 superstorm, and that resulted in lots of flooding, landslides, and catastrophic widespread damage. And the wind factor was 196 miles per hour. And in some places, this meant it was completely unsurvivable. There's no way that you could survive devastation such as that. And in some villages, and I'm sorry to be somber, but in some villages, it was 100% devastated. So not 80%, not 90%, 100% of all life extinguished in one go. And if we just spare a thought for that, the consequence of that, you know, if you thought of Tacloban, it was a green, lush place. I heard that it was the most fertile, amazing, abundant place. After the storm, it was all brown. No leaves on the trees, no life, no people. Gone. Okay? And it's heartbreaking. On the 9th of November, the storm moved across, the storm moved across the Pacific Ocean, went towards Vietnam, and up through the northern part of Vietnam. Now, the interesting thing is on the 10th of November, that was the day that I went on holiday with my husband to the Philippines, which is why I'm here to talk about what was supposed to be a holiday, what was supposed to be a relaxing holiday. It ended up being a relief mission for us. So this is a picture of the storm in space. As you can see, it was so huge that they could pick it up from space. The world has never seen anything like this before.
Next one, okay.
Okay, and I'm just going to give you, sorry kids, this is the boring bit and then we'll get to the holiday pictures in a minute. This is for the adults, this is for you guys. This is what the UN statement said, and while I say this, we'll just screen some pictures of some of the devastation just to bring it home to us. Because the problem is when we're here, although we can see the images on the news, it's very hard to connect and relate it to ourselves. And despite me saying that, though, I have to say the UK is one of the best countries who donated so much money to the relief effort. We have donated over £100 million to the Philippines. The UK has donated £100 million. I think we need to do a round of applause for that. That is amazing. That is amazing. Woo! You know, and you think we are a small island ourselves as well. How generous are the British people? That's amazing, right? But we can do more, right? Yeah? Yes! That's right. Okay, so I'm just going to read you what the UN statement is, because look at these little kids. They lost their homes. They lost their families, some of them. Okay, and the UN statement says, the typhoon led to extreme destruction of agriculture and fishing infrastructures, severely impacting people's livelihoods. There was widespread loss of houses, homes, food stock, livelihood, assets, as well as destruction of market areas and blocking of physical means of access to markets and financial sectors. Food security is a major concern for the majority of affected communities. This was the biggest this was the biggest typhoon to ever make landfall in the world and in the history of mankind. Okay, and there's a picture of the helicopters. That's a picture of people needing food. Unfortunately, I'm sure, I don't know if you heard about it on the news. I don't know what you've seen, what you've heard, because we were out there at the time when it was happening and being reported. But a lot of the aid didn't get through in time, so it didn't get through on the first day. It took about 4 or 5 days for the relief efforts to start coming through. So they were really desperate for food and clean water and medicines. Okay. And here's some of the aid coming through here from the US military and the Philippine Air Force, the Philippine Army. That's a strong wind, isn't it, guys? Yes. Next one. Thank you, Julie. So when Lally asked me to speak, I thought, well, what am I going to speak about that you haven't already heard on the news? And she contacted me on Facebook, actually. Who knows Facebook? Yes, who doesn't know Facebook? Very good. And Facebook is so wonderful because we're able to connect with each other around the world. And Lally said to me while I was in the Philippines, can you do this talk? Because I was putting on Facebook my experience while I was on holiday. The things that I was seeing, the stories that I had heard from people, and it was happening as we were there. So it was like we were the news at the time. So here's a picture of us on the plane coming into Kalibo. Okay, so we were booked to go to Boracay, which is a paradise island in the Philippines. And in order to get there, you have to take a plane and fly to a place called Kalibo. And Kalibo was actually really badly hit at the time. So when we arrived, they were still cleaning up a lot of the destruction. You can see the trees. Can you see how they're leaning? How the leaves are leaning to one side? You can see how the wind kept it like that. This is us landing. Me furiously taking pictures of my camera as we land. And you can you see the house there that's just fallen? So, yeah. So that's us arriving at the airport being picked up. And here's the bus that you take to the island, and some of the telephone poles had fallen down. So one of the things that had happened, and we experienced it while we were there, was that a lot of the communication systems went down. So people could not communicate and tell their families that they were safe. And likewise, family members could not phone back. Family members could not phone and tell their family members abroad that they were safe either. This happened to us too. Okay, this is a picture from our hotel room. It's a warning notice about earthquakes. Because of course, just before the typhoon hit, there was an earthquake as well that hit Bohol. So it was like a double tragedy within a few weeks. And from my personal experience, I thought we were quite crazy to actually continue our journey in the Philippines when we felt that it was the most vulnerable place on the planet at the time. But as we were there, we thought, we're here for a reason. Why are we here at this time? And one of the things I forgot to mention was my husband is British. It's him with the camera over there. It's Julian. Hi, Julian. Everyone wave at Julian. Hi. So as you can see, he's British, I'm Filipina, and for the first time in our marriage, this was our first holiday to the Philippines. Because for many, many different reasons, work and all sorts of reasons, we weren't able to make it to the Philippines until now, which is 16 years into our marriage. So it's a coincidence, right? Oh, I think you're meant to sit down, guys. Thank you. So we just thought it's more of a coincidence that the first time I take him to the Philippines, the first time he's going to meet my family, we end up being there just literally after the typhoon has hit the country. Here's some pictures that we took. And we felt quite helpless, actually, because we tried to volunteer. It never feels like enough, whatever you do out there, because the problem was so big. So what I did was I started taking pictures, I started documenting things, I started talking to people and recording it so I could share it in this, in this environment. I'm going around doing lots of talks, lots of gigs, and also doing lots of concerts. So we can share with you from a personal experience what it was like to be out there. Okay, this picture is me on the beach. We were just having a day off and Julian just said, do a yoga pose. So I did this. But when we got back home, the interesting thing was that we realized this pose in yoga is called the warrior pose. Okay, and that means, does everyone know what warrior means? Who knows? Okay, what does it mean?
Fights like a soldier.
That's right, someone who fights like a soldier. So they have to be strong, right? Yes? Yes or no? Yes. So basically, we realized when we got back, look, there's storm clouds behind me, and I'm sort of symbolically saying the people of the Philippines are strong. We're warriors. We can survive this. We can rebuild our lives. It's just kind of symbolic. Next one. This is us, just trying to have a holiday, even feeling guilty that we were even still having a holiday. But as you can see, some of the things that had washed up on the beach where we were, because Boracay is usually a very idyllic, picturesque island, they still hadn't cleaned up a lot of the stuff that had washed up on shore. Okay, and then wherever we went, we tried to take pictures of the relief efforts that was going on out there. So everywhere you went, every day there'd be something else that would pop up, like in the hotels, in the restaurants, there'd be donation boxes, and every day there'd be more and more charitable sort of acts and things that you could do to help. And then this is a picture of me and my grandma, because that's why I went to the Philippines, to meet my family. Okay, so I couldn't go to all the places I wanted to go to. We only had 2 weeks. I had to do what we originally came to do, which is meet my family. And that's one thing that the storm teaches you, is that one thing that the storm teaches you when people lose their lives all of a sudden is you must love and respect your family, because you never know what can happen. And I don't mean to be sad and whatever, but my grandma's 95 years old, so we made sure to still do what we planned to do. We still went to visit my family. So that's me talking to my grandma, who has Alzheimer's and who didn't know who I was, but that doesn't matter. We know each other at a soul level. Okay. She's still happy anyway, so that doesn't ruin anything. Okay, and that's Julian and my mum and my grandma's Lola's. Okay, and then when we got back to Manila, which is where we started off, we realized that the relief effort was getting bigger and bigger. The boxes were getting bigger, people were donating even more, and we then had internet again, because on the island there was no internet, there was no electricity, there was no way to get money out. We felt really cut off as well, like we had experienced what the people in the places like Tacloban were experiencing. And it's scary, guys. I actually felt what they were feeling. So then when we got back to Manila, we tried to do more, because we felt guilty that we'd had a holiday, you know what I mean? So my cousin took us to the Villamor Air Base, and that's the volunteer number to get into the air base where they were taking evacuees. And that's the volunteer number. And that's me standing outside the air base where Oplan Hatid, I sound very British there, sorry, Filipinos. What that means is that the evacuees who landed in Manila from all the different regions that had been affected could be picked up by volunteers in Manila to be taken to wherever they needed to go to. And this is what my cousin was doing. He was being like a chauffeur, a taxi driver to all the survivors.
A couple minutes.
How are we doing for time, Lally? Is everything right? Okay, so I'm going to round this up. So when we were there, these are some pictures of the survivors, these strong survivors. Can everyone do like bicep? Strong, everyone's strong. Yes. See all the kids? And this is Captain Eames, who said, because Julian and I were saying, we feel like voyeurs, we feel like we're not helping enough. You know, what else can we do? And he said, just your presence here tells everybody in the Philippines that you care. And I guess that's something that we can all do. And I was telling people on Facebook, I was saying, whatever you can do, even if you don't feel like you can be there physically, do something. And that's why what Lally has put together here tonight and all her friends organizing this in the Servite School, what you guys are doing is brilliant. Whatever you can do helps and contributes to the relief effort. Even if it's just a small thing, it all is important. And that's something that the captain said. And children, these children that we met, these clothes that they're wearing, these are all new clothes that were donated by people such as the people from the UK and then the Philippines. And even I was told that the toys that they were given were donated by little kids who came to the relief centres and just wanted to give them their stuff, which is really touching. I know we're running out of time, so let's go through the pictures. So here are some pictures of the air base. And we'll just go through them quickly. Okay, that's some of the volunteers. And that's the men of the Philippine Air Force. And this was really touching for you adults here. Every food pack that was prepared for each family, this is a family pack, the volunteers wrote notes to the evacuees. And this is given to each family. A pack is given that lasts about 4 to 5 days, maybe a week. And each one had a different note, like God bless you, stay strong, be happy. How touching is that? Amazing. There are all the food packs. And that's Julian being really tired. What was meant to be a relaxing holiday for us ended up being a bit of a relief effort. But it didn't matter because, obviously they need our help. And of course, we're all human. We're part of a human family. So we need to do what we can to help each other, right? Right? We always help each other, yes? Yes. Well done, guys. Okay, so in closing, I guess what I wanted to say from this talk is that I know it's nearly Christmas time, and we must all be very happy and enjoy our Christmases. Who's looking forward to Christmas? Yes, me too. But I just want to say that it's Christmas time, but for some people in the Philippines, they're still rebuilding their lives because they lost everything. And I don't want to make anyone feel guilty, but I just want you to, and I want us all to sort of appreciate what we have, because we have a lot compared to what they do. And at Christmas time, just to spare a thought for those less fortunate than ourselves. And if you children, can we make a promise? Whatever you get for Christmas, be grateful for it, yeah? Even if it's not the right color or the right toy, be grateful, because we're very lucky to have what we have. And parents, I know you do this anyway, but if we can just instill that appreciation in our kids, and make them think about those less fortunate than us, then we're inspiring a new generation. And talking about making donations, this is a show that I will be doing with a lot of my friends in March next year. A lot of the friends from the West End stage. This was actually conceived of by my friend Irene Alano, who is an actress I met in Miss Saigon. Shh. I'm nearly finished, guys, nearly finished. Okay, and then we'll get to the entertainment. So this, parents, please do come along. Bring your family and friends. This is a very special one-night-only show that my friend and my sister, Rhoda Montemayor, and a lot of our other friends, Jackie Anderson and Chris Stovin, put together. And actually, we were meant to do a small show in a hall, and suddenly it became bigger and bigger when big producers started getting involved. And now we have a massive press release. It's going to be everywhere. And it's for one night only. We invite you all to come, because this is a way that we can still continue to help the relief effort, because it's going to take years for them to rebuild their lives. It's not just for now. It's not just for Christmas. And especially it's going to die down in the news. We're not going to hear about the Philippines next year, maybe. So we need to keep remembering what this is about and help our brothers and sisters in the Philippines. No matter where we're from, we're all one human family. So thank you very much. My name's Renee Montemayor. Thank you for having me, guys. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, guys.